I have this Z-Edge X1 action camera I got for 60 bucks. And when I read the box, it has all of these video resolutions. But no one would tell me, what does this actually mean? What's the difference and why would I use one over the other? So I'm doing a video where I go through all the modes and I'm going to show you what it looks like and what I see as a difference, okay? So let's start playing here.
Okay, this is a test recording at 4K. I'm gonna look around.
So this is the maximum resolution of this camera, and it says 30 frames per second. And what I'm seeing is that, while the picture seems pretty clear, here, that's pretty sharp, it's pretty jerky. So I really wouldn't want to do this for any kind of action. So let's go to the next setting, which is 2.7K.
Okay, now we are shooting at 2.7K.
So this seems a lot smoother. So I'm not sure about, how much clearer it is, but it's definitely better than the 4K. So the next one is...
Okay, this is 180p at 60 frames per second.
So this is theoretically the resolution at of the computer monitor that I'm currently using, exactly 1080p, and at 60 frames per second, theoretically that's twice as many frames as you normally would get. It's not slow motion, but it kind of has a smoother motion. It's kind of like it's called a soap opera effect, if you know what that is. That it looks a little bit strange, maybe hyper clear or something. Okay, so let's go to the next setting, which is 30 frames per second.
Now this is 180p at 30 frames per second. This would be normal thing. It says warning. You see the ribbon?
So this is the standard frame rate that you would use for like a YouTube video. And it seems to be fairly responsive. This looks fairly normal. So probably if I were to shoot, I would probably shoot in this mode. So next we start going to the 720 frames, I think. Let's see here.
So this is 720 at 120 frames per second. So it should be really fast.
So yeah, it says 120 frames per second. So this is why I'm spinning around to see whether it's especially clear. And it just doesn't seem to be. As you can see, this one particular frame has still got a lot of blur in it. And in my tests of 720 video, it's considerably blurrier than the 120, than the 1080p.
Can you see it?
But the details are considerably less than with 1080p. So let's keep on going with other frame rates in 720.
Okay, this is 720 at 60 frames per second. Again, can you see it really fast? It goes round and round. You get dizzy.
This might seem a little marginally smoother, I suppose.
Okay, this is 720 at 30 frames per second. Again, we loop around. Is that too fast for you?
And once again, it appears to be about as blurry as before. Now, this camera also has two slow motion modes. So this is 1080 at 60 frames per second, which means it's displaying at about half the rate. It's about slowed down double is what that turns out to be. So when I spin around, you can see things a little bit clearer. And then finally, we have 720 at 120 frames per second. So this is way slowed down. So they're still showing it at 30 frames per second. But that is slow-mo. So that's the difference between all of the different frame rates on your action camera. So I hope you found this useful so you didn't have to go do this yourself.